that here's a little show in Tyler, Texas, and me and you, Jared, seem to be breaking news out there that no one is thinking about, and that is this tax deadline is going to affect us more than it ever has affected us in our history. People really did, just like you say, Jared, that's the same thing I heard. People were betting on the come. They thought that the year was going to be better. They could pull themselves back out of it and be able to get enough revenue generated that they could pay their 2008 taxes. It didn't happen. The recovery only happened in the media, not in the real world, right, Jared?
Right, and the unfortunate thing is that small businesses are one of the major sources of employment in this country, and so that's going to make the unemployment picture that much worse fairly soon.
It really is. Now, here's the thing. Next week will be October the 3rd, and then the week after that is when we're talking about this. I agree with you. I don't think it'll be a earth-shattering day, like all of a sudden the taxes are due on that day and then we're just going to see a big blow up in the market. I don't think it'll happen that way either. I think it will be a thing that builds. The thing is I do think it will be something that builds. And for us for no one to even be talking about it, it's like the convergence, so to speak. There seems to be so many different things, Jared, that are all hitting at the same time, that just doesn't put the environment very good, to want to be in the financial markets right now. And I really feel for the unemployed people that are in America, because if this is the case, if this is true, if people aren't going to be able to pay their taxes, and what we're talking about is going to be real news, just no one else is covering it, we're also talking about unemployment going up as well, because these businesses are going to close, right, Jared?
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're not going to have any other recourse other than to shut down and lay off their employees, and that that just makes the problem that much worse.
Well, neither one, I know you nor myself, we're not advocating that you don't pay your taxes, or we're upset with the IRS, or all that kind of good stuff. Whenever you talk about this stuff, you want to walk on eggshells because it has to do with the IRS and taxes. I just want to, I'm just simply trying to illuminate the environment that I had no idea this was going to take place. And the more I do my research, I find out that it is happening. It's just not happening in the news. And so if there's anyone listening to this show, listening to Jared and I talk about this, hey, send us an email at Shane at the Urban Survivalist Show. Go to YouTube, make comments on the video, or send us that way. We're going to try to gather more and more information about this. And when we come back next week, we'll see if we can have a little bit more insight and information to the listening audience about what's taking place, and we're going to follow this story a little bit as it unfolds. I can't believe, Jared, that we're breaking the news on this, but really I can't find anyone else talking about it. Have you noticed the same?
Well, when you first told me about it, I was kind of shocked, and I thought about it and asked around, and yeah, sure enough, I mean, it's you want to connect a dot, that's a pretty big dot,
That's almost got a painting right behind just one dot right there, the Mona Lisa, you know what I'm saying? Well,
right.
Listen, Jared, if for some reason the people that are listening to the show, that have been listening to the show, Jared is the Senior Vice President of Financial Investments at a company up in Dallas or in Irving, Texas. And if you need to get a hold of him, please give him a call. The number up there is 972-506-0400. Tammy usually, I believe, answers the phone, an East Texas girl right here from Tyler. And so make sure you ask Tammy for Jared, and he'll get you hooked up. If you're in 401ks, money market accounts, anything like that, and you want to transfer that or take a safe approach, Jared is really smart, and he helps quite a few people with those transitions. So, Jared, thank you for helping a lot of people out on this show. I know we get emails all the time, and we really appreciate your help.
Yeah, sure.
And listen, keep your eyes and ears open for us here in East Texas and people that are going to be watching this show up on YouTube, because as you know, we got people all over the world that watch this show. And if we're going to be the ones that are going to be breaking this story, I'm going to keep doing my part to find out more information on it. If you'll do the same, and hey, maybe, who knows, we'll make headline news one day with our breaking story. I don't know if we want to make headline news about the IRS, though. What do you think, Jared?
Nah, I'd rather make headline news about something, just about anything else other than that.
Yeah, there you go. But we'll do our part to at least let the people here who are fans of this show and listeners of this show be able to have that information. Jared, I hate to cut you short. We've already been on here for 17 minutes now, and the show just seems to fly by every time we get on. And but listen, thank you so much. You were supposed to be in the studio this week with me. We were going to interview those people, and it fell apart because my son got sick and got sent home, and I apologize, and it all got thrown apart. So hopefully we'll have you here in the studio next week, and I've got some people that we're going to bring on where me and you can actually interview some people about this right here in the studio. So I apologize for screwing that up this week, Jared, but please don't hold it against me.
Real good.
And we will see you really soon as you come back here in the studio next week.
Okay, very good.
Hey, take care of yourself, Jared. God bless you, my friend.
Okay, take it easy.
All right, buddy.
See ya.
Well, we've come to the end of our show. 30 minutes flies by fast. Listen, thank you, Ricky Evans over at Joe Boys You Pull It, Joe Boys Towing, and Bumper to Bumper Collision Repair for sponsoring the show. We wouldn't be on the air without you. And Tommy Bennington at Texican Coin and Bullion Company. If you haven't got your gold or silver yet, and you got nothing but paper assets, in essence just currency, just money sitting in the checking account or savings account, hey, I told you so. I did my part. You need to go get some gold and silver to hedge against hyperinflationary measures or devaluating dollar. Hey, I'm going to pound that into the ground every single week. We appreciate those guys sponsoring the show. We would not be on the air if it was not for Ricky Evans and Tommy Bennington. We really appreciate them. And Carmela Davis. I've mentioned that a couple of times. I know the tax, since we've been talking about taxes, it's right around the corner. Make sure you go by see Carmela and give her a shout out. Tell her Shane sent you, or you heard us on or you heard about it on the Urban Survivalist show. She is she just works wonders. I really love her to death. Thanks everybody for listening to the show. We're out of time. God bless. Until next week, same place, same time. Make sure you tune right back in here on the Urban Survivalist show.